I'm outside. I'm currently hiking up Cwmtaleiri Mountain, and I'll show you some pictures and video as we go along. This week we went to the Broadcast Video Expo down in London, and there's a short clip from inside the exhibition hall there. It's short because they do say that external photography is prohibited. There's a brief shot of when we're in the like rest area, so we can get away with that. I mean, you don't see a lot, to be fair, but it's just to prove that I was there, really, and it was a good day. We got some swag out of it, some contacts too, so pretty good, and I'll show you that shortly.
Where are the passes?
My suitcase.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in London, or Nodnall, depending on which universe you're in. And we're
that London.
we're on our way to the Broadcast Video Expo over at Earl's Court 2, which we're currently en route to.
Russell arrived on bus.
I arrived on the bus. These two folks arrived the day before. So there we go, on our way. So here we are now, currently taking a break. We've done the broadcast part of it, and we're about to head into the production show after a short break. I can't show you a lot of the exhibits because they do have strict rules about photography, but I'll give you a quick look around. So there we are. Those two. Mike's currently doing his vlog. This is here. Yeah. So we've just left the BVE here at the Earl's Court 2. We've had a good time looking at all the latest tech, and we've got plenty of free swag. And we're about to make our journey home now. It's still pretty packed in there. And yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it next year. To make up for the lack of footage from the BVE, here's some of the swag I've collected whilst we were there. Lots of magazines, CD-ROMs, cards. Those were courtesy of the PNY stand, and actually a box of mints. Cinegel, that's from the company Roscoe. If I give you a quick look, it's basically like a colour guide, so you can order products from them to match different, whatever you require, different numbers from there. Loads of sweeties, pens. Really surprising that we saw them down there. PNY and Nvidia, they had their own little store, which was the first time we've seen them down there. And then numerous magazines, which normally you'd have to pay for, like Iris magazine, you get for completely free. Got petrol bags there, servers, and a very good newspaper by the name of Film and Video. So there we go. That's basically a summary of the expo, and now we go back to the mountain. Cwmtaleiri Mountain is dotted with these fissures in the land, and they are quite deep, as I'll now demonstrate. Here we go. That's a view looking down one of the fissures, and it goes down a heck of a long way. So if you fall down this thing, you ain't getting out. Right, here we are near the summit of Cwmtaleiri Mountain, and I'm at the entrance to the heart of the woods. And there's a number of myths and legends that are associated with these woods. We've had reports of that an early medieval king was murdered on the hill. There's been reports of ghosts and flying saucers up here. And to be honest, sorry about that. To be honest, there's no historical evidence or firm footage to prove that. In the past, myself and Michael and Connor came up these woods and we done a paranormal investigation up here. Found nothing. So a lot of it is, just the wind moving through the trees, low light, claustrophobia, that sort of thing, because when you get in there it's pitch black. Well, not pitch black, it's dark, and your mind does start to wander, but there's nothing up here. We've proven that before. So I'm going to give you a brief walking tour now. We're going to walk in that direction through the woods, and you can see it for yourself. Okay, here we go, walking through the woods. As you can all see, it's lined either side with these tall trees little vegetation down on the forest floor because very little sunlight gets down here. And from my guessing, all these trees are planted because they're, you know, every which way you look, they're in like identical rows. We have filmed some short films up here in the past. We've done a Star Wars fan film, a fight scene up here. We've done a couple of horror movies, including the first Nuns Wood, which is, looking back on it now, you gotta laugh at it, but that was the best we could do at the time. And it was back in the day when NLP used to film outside. I know, shock horror. We don't do it a lot these days for some reason. I wish we would though, because I think I echo the thoughts of most people, in that we are overusing that studio. We are overusing it. And it's fine if we dress it up and try to make it look different, but there's only so many times you can use that main hall in the bingo hall. We need to get outside, folks. We need to get outside and do some location shooting. And in the midst of all these identikit trees, we have this one. It's a very old and gnarly looking tree. And it's not the only one. It has a twin, which is just beyond it in that direction. A few hundred yards down that way. And it has caused, you know, me and Mike were exploring these woods and we found this one and thought, ah, this is the tree where we filmed Gemini episode 3. And so we carried on walking past this tree, and then sure enough we found another one. And then for a brief moment we did wonder whether we were like in some time warp situation, but yeah, it's basically, they are two trees and they are exactly the same. It's one of the few native trees here. I mean, if I take up close to it, you get an indication of how old this tree is. I mean, all the knots in it and gnarls and thick roots, etc. But it hasn't had any vegetation on it for as long as I can remember. I don't know how good you can hear me or how good you could see that, but that's the fog currently whipping in across Country Mountain. Temperature's dropped by a good few degrees, that's why I got my lovely fetching bobble hat on. So I'm going to take a walk now to the next location where we did some filming. Right, I am at the head of where the Tulare Glacier used to be, and this is where it all started a millennia ago. And this is the spot where geologists and geographers have determined this is where the head of the Tulare Glacier once was. So that's your little bit of geography for today. Right, we're at the edge of one of my favourite places up on this Country Mountain. It's a large fissure, rift, whatever you want to call it. We discovered this one coming up looking for locations to film an adventure skit, and it was when we were first trying to do some fire, and basically I ran from underneath that rocky outcrop, sprinted up here, and I was going to be chased by a wall of fire, but unfortunately it didn't come out that well. So I'm going to take you on a trip now through there. Here we are now inside the rift. As you can see, it's very beautiful and very tranquil. Now I'm on the other side. Traverse that mess in the middle there. A lot of these rocks. Here we are now on the other side. I have navigated this section. Still pockets of snow in the bottom of here, which proves how sheltered and isolated this spot really is. I'm now going to go through this narrow gap and then climb up the banking on the other side. So that concludes this episode of A Slurp Ninja Soup. Be on the lookout for the first group Ninja Soup of 2012, which is being uploaded alongside this video. It features a redesigned title sequence, which I'll let you know now is not purely my creation. It is based on a project file which I downloaded from revostock.com, and then I modified it to suit our needs. So until next time, enjoy that show, goodbye.